Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. My name is Matthew Brenner. And if you're thinking about growing your martial arts school using social media, I know I'm the organic marketing guy that talks about how to recruit new students to your local schools and preschools and basically being ingrained in the education system. But here's the reality. We all have social media that people will look you up on before they come into your business. And not everyone will do it, but a lot of people will. And of course, some people will discover you on social media and then decide to come into your school. So this episode is going to be all about learning how to craft your social media so it's actually not only that it doesn't attract people, but it doesn't deflect people from your business. Because a lot of times it could do that too. Like I think everyone thinks like, okay, well, or some people think, okay, I don't need my social media to be amazing. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean amazing, but it also can't be garbage or it's actually hurting you. Right. So today I'm going to be with Lizzy Friedman. She runs Iconic, which is a social media marketing agency. And not only are we're gonna go through tips and strategies specifically for martial arts schools that are probably pretty applicable to most businesses, but we're also gonna pull up. I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna pull up 3 martial arts schools and their Instagram accounts, and she's gonna do a live audit of those accounts to figure out what they do well and figure out what they can do better. Okay, so make sure if you're listening to this right now, make sure you have the video open. If you're on Spotify, make sure you can watch the video. If you're on, or go to the same episode on YouTube, so you can have a visual of this podcast recording. That way, you can actually see what we're talking about, and you get the most out of this episode. And by the way, if you're a martial arts school owner, make sure to share this with your friends who are other martial arts school owners. Don't hold this to yourselves. Like, share the episode so that way they can get help as well. We can all grow together. It's our goal that all martial arts schools across the country and across the world are able to get new students, because we feel like everyone can benefit from martial arts training, not just, my style or my system, but your style and your system too. So high tides rise all boats. So Lizzy, thank you so much for coming on today. I'm really excited to have you here. And I know that you are going to give us the brutal truth about what is good about these accounts that we're going to share, and what is bad. And I know that I tried to send them to you in advance and you said, no, I need to see them
No.
live. So
Yes.
we'll see what that actually looks like. So my first question, I guess, but we'll get into that, right? Now I'm going to share my screen and go through it. But I want to have first, like, set the baseline of like what is important for social media in 2025 going into 2026. So I guess my first question is like, why should people listen to you?
Well, that's a really loaded question.
Yeah, no,
So,
great.
hi, everybody. I'm Lizzy. I run Iconic Creative Consulting. I have been doing social media for a long time. So, why listen to me? What do
Yeah,
I have to say?
yeah,
Why is my knowledge important? So, I started my own content creator page almost 6 years ago. I just wanted to feature small businesses. I had no idea what I was doing myself, zero clue. I would post stuff on my regular account, but that's just a personal account. And I was also studying neuroscience at the time. So I just learned just by winging it. I looked at social media. I saw what was trending. I taught myself everything I know. I asked other people who were content creators, what did you do to grow? What did you do to be successful? I took their advice. I put my own spin on it and I just ran with it. There was no pressure because I wasn't doing it for work. There was no pressure because I didn't have any goal with followers or making a bunch of people look at my page. I knew that if I put my post in front of one new pair of eyes, like one new set of eyes, then I was doing my job. So I've been doing it for a very, very long time. And I found a lot of successful strategies that I essentially accidentally built myself. So when I think back to what I did in the beginning, they're all psychologically driven. So I took my love of neuroscience and my background in that and psychology, and then my love for social media, and I combined them. And I
right,
want to teach small businesses how to do the same thing. So I have over 37,000 followers on Instagram, and I have a business doing social media consulting, coaching, and strategy where I have about 20, 25 clients, and it's really successful. It's really fun to help businesses grow. Social media is universal. You need to have an intentional, consistent social media in 2025 going into 2026.
cool. That's great. So I guess my question for you now we understand why we should listen to you, right? I think that's
Yeah.
important when I start in the baseline, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
for especially if people don't know you, but now that we understand that for martial arts school owners, they don't get involved to run a martial arts school so they can dance on TikTok, right? They get involved, they love martial arts and they want to help kids and adults learn the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So why should I And a lot of them are like kind of like old school, right? They're not
Right.
necessarily focused on what's trending on Instagram at this moment.
So
So
fair.
why should a martial arts school even be active on social media right now?
I just read a study that 90% of people that are like older Gen Z, younger millennials, which are the younger families, 90% of them look up information on social media instead of Google now.
Mm,
So that in itself answers the question. There's so many more answers to that. But if you need to think, why should I have an active social media? There's your answer. People are looking you up on social media constantly. It is a great way to drive revenue, to drive business, new people to come into your business. It's a great way to build exposure. It's a really cool tool because, people would put up billboards or magazine articles or a commercial back in the day, right? But this is a moving, living, breathing, consistently active place where you can get new eyes, fresh new eyes by doing it yourself, right?
mm.
You don't have to rely on a network to have so many viewers. You don't need to have a magazine be sold X amount of times. Amount of people drive by a billboard and hope that it catches their attention. Everyone's on social media all the time. And if you do the right techniques, it will be really successful to grow your business and just increase exposure. So it's a moving advertisement for yourself that you can manipulate to make it look and represent your business.
Yeah, I know one of the questions people always have is like, is this worth all the time, energy, and effort? Like, am I going to get ROI? So, if you're listening to this right now, that's ultimately what we're going to get to. So, keep on listening because I think as a business owner, it's like, okay, cool. I'm spending all this time like editing videos and posting and all the and it's like takes so much time, energy, and effort, right? And then we got to make sure that we're actually getting something out of it. Otherwise, you'll burn yourself out, right? So,
Right.
so
Yeah, totally.
so yeah, make sure to listen in because I'm going to ask all those questions as we get to it. But first, let's keep on setting the baseline. So
Let's do it.
when you're when you're gonna first look at a business's social media account and you're gonna look at their social media presence, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, whatever, like what exactly are you looking for?
When you're looking at an account, and I'm challenging everyone who's listening to this to go on an account of another business that you go to and look at it in this way too. When you go onto an account, the first few things that I ask myself is, what do I see? What do I notice first? You notice their handle, you notice their amount of followers, you notice their bio. This is called the brand strategy for social media, right? You need to have a very captivating kind of 3 short bullet points on your bio, right? You need to have a decent ratio, and we can go into what that means on your followers to following, right? You can't be following 12 people, but you can't be following 7,500. And you also should have a handle that doesn't have a lot of underscores, a lot of periods, because it makes it look less professional. These little things can detract potential business from your page really fast because no one has to hide or no one has to be in person and hide, right? You can hide behind a phone screen or computer screen. You don't have any social obligations or social cues that you have to live up to. You can just do whatever you want in your own time. So you don't have that social pressure to like keep scrolling, right? No one's standing there looking at you doing that and be like, see, look, you're doing it in your own time. So you want to have a page that looks professional, clean cut, and active to get people to want to stay on. Social media marketing, and if you're going to take one thing away from this, keep this in mind. Social media marketing is to grab someone's attention and hold on to it for a little bit longer because everyone's attention spans are so short. And to do that, you need to have something that's going to intrigue and entice people.
Mm, okay, great. So you mentioned something about follower count versus accounts that you're following. So, and there's a
Yes.
ratio there. So, what ratio are you looking for?
The divine ratio is what I call it, right?
Okay.
So believe it or not, you may think it doesn't matter a lot, but it truly matters how many people, not how many followers necessarily that you have, more so focus on how many follow people, like people that you are following yourself. So there are two extremes, right? People who don't follow enough people and people who follow too many people. You want to meet somewhere in the middle. So what happens? What does it look like when you follow too little people? It's you're inactive. You don't care about the community. You're kind of just being on social media to advertise yourself rather than connection, right? And that is a turnoff for a lot of people. If you have 5,000 followers and you're following 12 people, you are not engaged in the community. Exact opposite. You have 500 followers, but you're following 5,000 people. It looks a little off. It looks a little unprofessional. It looks like you're trying too hard. And like I said, it's silly, but people really do notice those things.
So what's the divine ratio? Is it 1 to 1?
What's the right? So the way that I work is if you have under 1,000 followers, it should be about half life what you're following or who's following you. So if you have 500 followers, you should be following about 250 people. It shows that you're active in the community, but you're not like so desperate for these followers that you're following every single person back. As a business, it's important to stay engaged and active, but not do too much.
So is this an algorithm thing, or is this like a perception of someone who comes look at your
This
profile?
is a perception. People, what I like to do with my business is I build it from the ground up, right? My whole goal is for people to click on their page. And the first thing that you need to do when people click on their page is make sure you're looking at those 3 points that I just talked about, the handle, the followers, and the bio, right? And then the first few posts that trickle in. But it's really important to have this ratio because it will detract. It'll take away people's attention so fast they will click out of your page within zero point 0.2 seconds if they see too much of an extreme. So it's just honestly, it's not the algorithm. It's just a personal thing that I have seen through content creators, through consumers constantly, and then also through businesses.
Hmm. Okay, so I'm a martial arts school owner. I have my Instagram page.
Yeah.
Like, what do I want to have on there? Do I have my website? Do I say like who I help, what I do? Like, how do I make it short and sweet to get actually people to click a link? And does that link go to my website? Where does that go?
Right, right. No, it's so frustrating that I like to work primarily on Instagram. I think that is the most beneficial platform that kind of brings in like the younger trendy side and then also like the Facebook ask. I feel like people are starting to move over to Instagram. It's the best way to find things, look up and have like educational content. So, when you're going on there and you look at the bio, my like little ingredient, my recipe is 3 short and sweet phrases, bullet points that you would put to represent your school. So when I work with like a lot of realtors, I put area, I put what you focus on the most, and something about you because people want to connect with you, right? So when you have your bio, you want those 3 short bullet points. I mean, you'll have your address in there at the bottom, so it doesn't even necessarily need your location. But 3 things that like define you when someone asks you about your martial arts school, what are 3 things that you say? What is the purpose of you opening up a martial arts school? What is it? What do you guys do, right? I'm sure you have something along the lines of when someone asks you that question, you have an answer in a sentence or two, break that up.
Hmm.
And links are the most stressful thing about Instagram, I would say, if we're talking about
Okay.
Instagram, because you cannot hyperlink a link in a caption. You cannot hyperlink a link in a comment. The only place to put a link is in your bio, and they allow you one, unless you want to click 100 times.
Or
So my
stories,
goal
right? You could put a link in stories
Story,
too.
you can put a link to your stories, and some people's story clicks are higher than their actual post, which is very interesting. It just means you're constantly more engaged and looking at the bubbles on the top of your screen. But I would say links are probably the least important. Put your phone number, put an email. There's call to action buttons that you can set up on Instagram. So it's like email, contact, book now, those little things that they set up for businesses that'll be way more sufficient than just a link in your bio.
Yeah, there's no faster way to tell that someone has no idea what they're doing than when they put like a website in a caption or a comment. It's like, dude, no one can click that. And there's
Yeah, that doesn't hyperlink, babe.
yeah, exactly. So you should have one link that goes to your website in your profile. You're saying
Correct.
okay, so you should still have your website
Keep it
link.
there. Doesn't hurt. However, I would say that people click on more of those CTA, the call to action buttons right underneath, and that'll be the way to get people to contact you.
Got it.
People
So
want
make
to,
sure you
yeah.
so there's like an option to put your CTA of like call me, email, or text or whatever.
It's like contact, email, book now, something
Got
along
it.
those lines. You can do that on Facebook as well.
And that's like a standard Instagram setting.
Yeah, and you can customize it too. It doesn't have to be like one over the other. You can have different call to action buttons.
Okay. All right. So we have our divine ratio. We know we need to put on there 3 bullet points of like either where
Yeah,
we are, what we do, or who we help, but like three quick phrases. What else
right.
do you look at in the profile when you pull it up?
If they have highlights or not.
Okay.
Highlights are important. Even actually, before I get to that, the photo that you use, it should be your business logo. It shouldn't be a face. It shouldn't be a name. It should be a business logo. It looks really professional. And then when you go to the highlights, some people don't have highlights. And the people that have highlights, they are random photos that are generated on there from like a screen grab of a random video that you took that you put on your story in 2023. And it looks really unprofessional to have it be so disorganized. The way that I like businesses to do it, the way that I see the most success and people like have people continue to scroll, right? Because it's holding on to their attention, is to have maybe if your business has three, they have a primary, secondary, and a tertiary color and in your logo, maybe three highlights with the same logo with your different colors. You want it to be consistent in your branding and you want it to look really professional and put together. Highlights are really good because what they do is it's stories that you have posted. You can post anything. I'm talking from 2018. Not that I suggest putting that on a highlight, but you can take any story that you've posted from whenever and put it into a highlight to put it into like categories, right? It's not stuff that you necessarily want to post on your feed or need to post on your, I call it your feed, your profile, and your grid. Those are all interchangeable words on your profile. But there are important things that you would want people to click on because people like to click. That's really what it is. People like to stalk, they like to click, and they like to investigate. We're nosy.
Okay. So then if I'm gonna put highlights for my martial arts school, what
Yes.
categories am I using?
Well, that is school dependent, right? It depends on what it is. I would put events. I would put even like some call to action there if you need to, like how to contact us. I would put just special things that are happening in the moment rather than, um, videos of introducing maybe the team. A team could be a good one, like meet our team, and then people can click through, right? It's something that it's really individual for martial arts schools and it's about what's important to them to showcase because it is your own way of advertising it. But I think just like three highlights. You don't need to do more. Some people have like
Three
10 where you
categories
scroll.
or three like stories in one?
Three categories, three
Okay.
categories. Yes, you can put as many stories as you want in there. My rule of thumb is don't post anything in there that's more than a year old.
Okay.
But I think having three categories is it's really great. But those little cover photos on there matter a lot.
Okay. And how do I make sure the cover photos are good?
They should be your logo, or they should be something that represents your business. They should be an icon. It should definitely be an icon versus an actual photo.
Got it. So the story should be an icon, or the cover photo
Highlights,
of this of the
yes.
story highlights should be an icon. Because if it's your logo, then it's
Yes.
like everything would be exactly the same. Oh, you're saying if it was three different colors?
It could be 3 different
Is
colors,
that
or
what you
you
were
can
saying
do like if
before?
you have black and white, then you can interchange and make the icon white and then the background black and then do the white on black again separately. It could look a lot of my clients do every other. Some of my clients have like 3 different branding colors or 4 different branding colors. You play around with it, see what looks good to you, right? Because you have to think about it in the eye of the consumer, right? Who are you trying to attract? How are you the audience member? What would you like to see on here?
Mm. And if you're unsure of your color code for people that are listening, I wasn't sure of mine as I'm like redoing my website and some of the content that I'm doing, and I just took the color of my logo that I had made and put it into ChatGPT and asked for the color code, and boom, now I have my color code. So super easy to do if you're not sure how to do it. Literally just ask ChatGPT based on what you already have. Is there a better way you think? You're looking at me like
No, I'm laughing because that's hysterical. That's a great way to do it. I use an application called Canva, and what I do is I import my logo on there, and then there's the little dropper where you can just drag it on, and it tells you. It's called the hex number,
oh, the hex number,
HEX.
yeah, yeah.
So ChatGPT is probably easier. I'm laughing because I should have been doing that this entire time rather than 100 different steps and writing them down. But yeah, it's really important to have branding colors on there because it represents the consistency of your branding. And like that, I wouldn't walk into a martial arts school and see a ton of different colors randomly throughout, right? I would see a very consistent looking place with
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, so we understand the profile photo should be a logo. We got the story highlights, and so let's work down now. Now we're in the
What's
grid,
next?
the profile, right?
This is the
Um,
body of it all. This is everything you want. This is what people tend to only focus on. I would say, I would argue that it's the most important section, your content.
okay, so what should be sometimes people have pinned on the top. So is that like your most popular post? Is that like a testimonial or case study or something? Like what should be pinned?
Oh, that is a fantastic question because people pin different things depending on what type of account you want to run. Some people, I would say, arguably most people probably post or pin their top performing posts. So if you have something that goes a little viral, a lot of people put that as their top post. For me, I think it's the posts that matter the most. That rhymes. The things that represent your business the most are the things that you should be pinning as the top post.
So
What do you
even if it
want
has
people to
six
see
likes,
first?
that should still be there.
Hide your likes.
Hide your
That's
likes.
a lot of these things, a lot of the tips that I give are just personal preferences and things that I've seen consistently throughout. Essentially, my job is one big case study. And I just take everyone's information and just compute it into my brain and then make suggestions based off of what I see. If you have a low number of likes, it doesn't hurt to just hide the likes consistently throughout. You can also hide your views now, which is interesting. Your
Okay,
real
cool.
views.
So
Yeah.
if it's important content that represents your brand that you want people to know, but doesn't have a lot of likes, just hide
Yes.
the likes and pin it to the top.
Yeah, pin it to the top. What would you want people to see when they click on your page?
Hmm.
Because when
Okay.
you click on it, you look at the followers, you look at the picture, you look at the handle, you look at the bio, you look at the highlights, and then you see the first three posts that pop up.
Got it. Okay. And
And you
bring
can
up
interchange the pins. Like, it doesn't have to be one pin is forever. You can decide the next 30 seconds you want to change it up. There's not a certain amount of times that you can change the pins, but you can only have 3 pin posts.
okay. And then for people who don't know, pin post is like when you're scrolling, it's like the first three you'll see no matter what. So even if you posted something more recently, that's not going to be on the top. That'll be like one level below it, I think, right?
Right. For instance, I think my pin posts, I have 2 up there, 3 for my own page that is very food centered. I have a popular restaurant that just came recently that just opened up, I have pinned. I have the time I was on a magazine cover last summer, and then I have the award ceremony where I won an award. Just so it shows my credibility, but it also showcases, "Hey, this is a new restaurant in the area."
I think the first question I asked you of why should we listen to you, you should have went right to the magazine cover. You were like, well, you know what, Matt, you should check my pin posts if you want to know why I listen to you.
Check
Bam,
out my
bam.
Instagram and then you'll see why you should listen to me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But back to what we were saying, social media is a walking manipulated advertisement that you can manipulate. That is not done by anyone else besides anyone you hire, of course, but it is up to you. Just like for me, you want to build your credibility on social media and you can have it there fully for someone to see, just like you were talking about, Matt, about how you could click on my page and see that magazine cover, see what I have accomplished, and then I wouldn't even have to have said words, right? I don't have to sell myself.
Okay. So then I guess what mistakes are people making? I guess like for a small business like a martial arts school, they're busy running their business, teaching classes, doing all this stuff, right? So like when do they actually create content? How do they actually make it work in a day? And how do you actually start? You start with pictures, videos, like give me a breakdown of what to actually, if I'm gonna start this now, maybe I have a page, I've done a bunch of crap at a wall, nothing's really worked the way I want it to. How do I actually start to improve?
Sure. Well, before we even get into that, I want to say to everyone here that give yourself grace if you haven't touched your Instagram. That is okay. Social media feels like a daunting task and feels like a full time job. It could be fun. It could be exciting and it doesn't have to be super hard and tedious. It just has to be consistent. So if you haven't done a lot yet, that is okay. Once you start, you keep it consistent. And I'm talking like you can even do a post a week to start off, right? You don't want to go from nothing to 5 posts a week. You can start off with 1 post a week for a few months. And that is okay. So give yourself grace if you haven't done anything. Don't be like, if you haven't, because not doing something for social media can't hurt you. It can only help you to do it though.
Okay.
So where do I start? That's a question I get a lot of the time. And to start, you don't start just posting to post. You sit down with your team and you create what's called a content strategy. Its content strategy basically is you break up the content into 4 to 5 what I call content pillars or buckets, depending on what you want. Like for example, for one of my clients, they are a prosthodontist office. We do education. We do community based, where you meet the team, you work with the people in the community. We do a fun and trendy category, what's going on, and so on and so forth. Or if they're featured in PR, right? If there's like any magazine or news article on them, that we would post that as well. So you want to break down your content into different buckets or pillars, depending on how you want to advertise yourself. And that is something that can take an hour or two to do. It could take a day or two. You could always change it up. But this is the best way to organize, start getting the ideas flowing by organizing your content into the pillars or buckets.
Okay, got it. How do you figure out, I guess, which buckets make sense for a martial arts school?
You know what? It's truly up to you and your team and then whoever you're working with if you're working with someone in social media. So for that, you think about what your business represents, right? Everything that you do, think about it from a consumer perspective. What do you want people to see when they click on your page? Well, how do you want to represent yourself on social media? That's how you that's when you think about the buckets. So for martial arts, I would think tips and tricks for your kids. That's number 1. Or for yourself to focus, to learn, for any like emotional regulation, right? Tips and tricks. That's education. And then from there, when I discuss this with my clients, then they're like, "Oh, what about this for this one? Oh, what about that for this bucket?" Oh, and then you start coming up with the content ideas.
Uh,
It gets the brain really rolling, right? The wheels are turning here. So that I think first and foremost, that should be content pillar bucket number 1. Number 2 should be community, right? What are you doing in your community? How are you involving yourself? Because people love connection, right? They want to see you involved. They want to see that you care about the community. That's number 2. Number 3 would be what's happening on a day to day basis. Show me what my kid or that I'm going to experience when I walk in. What's happening, right? What do we do on a daily basis? What's the first level look like versus the second level versus the third? What do the classes look like? What do you learn in a class? Give them little sneak peeks to make them intrigued and enticed and want to come in and book a class, right? You shouldn't ever give too much, but don't give too little.
mm,
Common common ground, little medium, a little balance is always going to be great. People want to be intrigued, right?
mm.
On social media, people want to feel liked, they want to feel intrigued, they want to feel important, and they want to feel connected. So it's really important that you hit on that enticing or intrigue aspect of it. So what's happening on your day-to-day basis? And there you go. You have 3 content pillars set up for you.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So then once I have those content pillars, every time I want to create a post, it needs to go into one of those pillars. So when I think
It
about,
should.
okay.
It should. One of the things that I say to my clients is when in doubt, do not post. Because the last thing that I want someone doing is randomly posting and not making sense. If you're just posting yourself doing a silly little dance, does it have a purpose?
Mm,
Always think back to it. That's like when you were saying about, people don't want to be on TikTok doing those little dances. That's so valid because that's not the purpose of running a business's social media. It's about making a difference and trying to impact the people that are stalking your page.
okay. So it shouldn't just like teach me how to Dougie in a martial arts uniform because unless it falls in one of your pillars.
Well, community, like I said, with my prosthodontist clients, sometimes we do trendy videos, but they're usually call to actions. Like, let me think of an example really fast. For like a bagel client, you're not sad, you just need a bagel, nice coffee, right? That's a call to action. If the trendy video doesn't make sense for your business and you can't spin it for a martial arts business, don't do it.
Mm,
However, people want to see, like I said, Pete, the last point, people want to feel connected to you. So if you need to be relatable and personable, and you know, someone walks into martial arts school, they could have a great skeleton of what they do, but if the instructor is not personable and doesn't connect with the students, they're walking out and never having a lesson again, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Same thing with social media. You want to be able to connect with someone on social media as easily as possible. And a good way to do that is to showcase your personality. So
Mm,
if you can do that through education, and you can do that through showcasing like the behind the scenes of what happens on a day in the life of your martial arts school, great. But if you want to throw in like a fun video about like introducing the team or being in the community, like our content pillar, that's really important too.
mm, okay. So now that I understand kind of like what to do, how to do it, how to filter my buckets, so that way when I go to create content, I know what filter I should take in my brain of like, okay,
Right.
I kind of fall into one of these buckets. So the next part is like what everyone's going to want to know is like ROI, right? How do I figure out if this is working, not
R
working? Am I wasting my
O
time?
I.
Um,
Yeah.
and and like I know what some people do is like they'll hand their phone off to like one of the teenagers, like, oh, you know how to do. You're a youth. Here you go. Take my phone. And then like have you ever has that worked? Like, have you seen that worked? Is that usually a good idea or not a good idea?
No. You should have someone who's dedicated and, like, they delegate their task to social media, right? You don't just hand your phone and be like, "See, you can do it, you're fine," because while they can do a trendy video and do a dance on TikTok, they can't, everything has to have a purpose. So, even before we get to ROI, the next step of the content pillars is in each pillar, start writing down ideas. Because once you think of the ideas, once you think of one, you're going to think of five. Once you think of five, you're going to think of 10, especially if you do it with your team, not just yourself. It's important to have everyone who is boots on the ground in your martial arts school get together and come up with ideas. Brainstorm over coffee and bagels. It's easy.
Yeah, okay, cool. I like
So
the idea of coffee and some bagels.
yeah, I know. Now it's trending in my head, right? Because I just said something about it. But ROI. This is the most frustrating thing for a social media consultant to deal
Mhm.
with because in reality, can we count the amount of people that are booking classes based on seeing a post? No. Could you? If you put a little code and people use the code? Yes. Do those codes work ever? Rarely. So, how do you track if it's making sense? Are you wasting your time? Are you putting in all this effort for nothing? The first thing is social media isn't about getting people in the door, it's about getting eyes on your business. Just like how it's marketing, how you would put an advertisement in a newspaper, in a magazine, on a billboard, in a commercial. Why would you put yourself, in a fall fair for your town, right? To get eyes, to get exposure. Social media is the same way. You can never guarantee how many signups you're going to get if you're involved in a fair. You cannot guarantee how many people are going to walk through the door because you put a video on an advertisement somewhere, just like social media. It's all about exposure.
Hmm.
So, how do you track it? 'Cause people love numbers. They love feeling safe and secure. What are the things that you should pay attention to? One, if your follower count is going up, it's increasing. Number two, if your post has a share or a save or two. There are a few buttons that you can click on your on your profile to see the engagement that you're getting in the analytics on each post. And if you see that there's a share or two, then you're doing a great job. Because people are taking their time to take that video and share it to someone else. So if four people are sharing it, that's four people now sharing it to four more people, right?
Right.
So now four new eyes are on this post, and those other four people were impacted enough by your post to then share it to someone else. So, for example, one of the things that gets shared the most, and this is why it should be a content pillar, is the education, the tips and the tricks. People love those tips and tricks. I would sit there on Facebook and watch those like how to clean this really fast or what's a hack for getting the dust off of this. You attach your broom to a thing, to another thing and a thing, and then you can reach 9 feet in the air, right?
Okay.
People, people love tips and tricks. It stays with them. So as a martial arts school, because of what you define yourself as, you can put out those little tips and tricks about focus and regulation. And that'll, I think, will be a huge key to your success. And I think that may be one of the content pillars that gets the most engagement, meaning the most likes, the most shares, the most views.
And that's pretty easy for martial arts school because that's literally what we do is education.
Like, think about what you do on a daily basis with your students. Take a 5-minute section of your class, make someone talk about it for 30 seconds. Boom, you have a video.
Mm. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, especially self-defense tips. Like that's really easy,
Oh,
especially if it's with a kid,
yes.
because I know that like posts with kids generally do better. At least that's what I've
Posts with
heard.
faces do well.
Yeah.
People love to see faces because, again, it makes them feel connected to something, right? Like, why do we all get obsessed with certain TV characters or movie characters? It's because we feel like we know them from seeing their face so much and hearing their story.
Mm.
Same thing on
Yeah,
social media.
absolutely. And just for people who are listening now, if you're thinking, hey, this is all great, but like I don't know how I'm gonna put it all together. How could they contact you? Like if they wanna, because I know you have 2 different offers. You have a done for you offer where you just like take over, you'll record their social media, they'll show up and do it. And you have a done with you offer where you teach them how to do it, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like if someone's listening now, like, hey, this is great. I don't want to do it all myself, or maybe I want to find out more information. I know if
Yeah.
you're a client of mine, I'm gonna have if you're a part of Black Belt Business Elite or you're part of Black Belt Business Academy, then you're gonna see an email from me over the next couple weeks about how to get help with your social media directly through Iconic, directly through Lizzy. But if someone wants to reach out to you because they're interested, how do they do it?
I would say visit my website, which is www.iconiccreativeconsulting.com.
What about your
Check out what I
Instagram?
do. What? Oh,
They shouldn't check out your Instagram. Is the
you can stalk me on Instagram. I think the best way to look at my Instagram is to look at the page that I built myself 6 years ago. I call myself my own guinea pig. I built everything myself with never buying a follower, never buying a like in my life. So everything you see there is me doing my own experiments, and that's page is called Lower Marion Foodie. Foodie.
and that's more of like a food account, right? That's
It's food, it's
yeah.
small businesses, but it showcases everything I built for myself. So if you take a nice little scroll down, you'll see how the engagement has built.
Okay. All right. Great. And they could DM you on there too if they have a question or something.
Shoot me a DM. Shoot me there's a button on my website that you can put a little inquiry on. Yeah, I have different services like Matt said. I can do a teach me how. I'm a small business. I would like to get my hands on it and learn, or I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. Do it for me.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. So we're gonna hop into the audits if that's okay with you.
I'm ready.
And we're
I'll
gonna look
walk
at some
in.
of the accounts, tell them, and by the way, all these people, I told them that they better have thick skin because you're gonna say exactly how you feel about it. So like, what if the floodgates need to open? It's fine. Just tell them what
I'm
you think.
ready. You know
All
what? I
right.
call myself a social media coach, a therapist, and a BFF. And the last point is because I hold you accountable and I tell you the truth.
Heck yeah. Okay. I love that. All right. Let me share my screen here. Let's see here. All right, we're gonna go with the first one. This account is Mastery
Okay.
Jiu-Jitsu Academy. This is oh, okay, cool. This is one of my clients, Marco. He's the man. All
Hey,
right.
Marco.
So can you see my screen?
I can see your screen. I just need to lean in a little bit.
Okay. All right. So we have this jiu-jitsu school. What are you looking at first here?
All right. Well, just like we talked about, we look at the handle, we look at the follower ratio, and we look at the bio. Okay. Number one, mastery underscore JJ. It's probably because there was nothing available without the underscore. That's okay. There's one underscore. It makes sense. That's fine. If you look at the followers to following, you're not following that many people, right? It showcases, okay, I'm following some, but not many. See, that ratio is pretty off.
Right. Okay. So you think you should be following maybe like
I
500
think,
people
yeah,
or something?
follow some parents, follow some people that you need to interact with, people in the community. I'm talking, think about up and down the street, what other businesses are there? Engaging with them is going to be really important, right?
So it's not just about looking cool. Like, look how people follow me, and I follow 2 people. Like,
It's like,
I'm so
oh,
cool,
so cool.
so
No, no,
popular.
no, it's not. Celebrities can do that. They can follow one or two people. They don't even follow their spouses, which drives me up a wall, but it's fine. But if you if
Okay.
you want to intrigue people, I would say definitely I would aim, I mean, like I said, half life if you're under 1,000, aim to follow about 100 more people than you're following. It looks good to have three numbers versus two.
Okay, what else do you see on
Okay.
here? And tell me
So
when
we're
you want me
looking
to
at
scroll.
okay, great. So we're looking at the bio, the profile photo. Awesome. Perfect. Logo. Great. Looks professional. The thing that actually we didn't talk about that's really important to me is, do you see under Mastery Jiu-Jitsu, it says school?
Uh-huh.
That's a thing that you can toggle off if you press edit profile because it's just your category. I think it does nothing but eat up space on your profile.
Okay. So get rid
You
of that.
should talk about what you do, right?
Okay, got it. And like so for him, it says like this affiliate Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Like I always think like if you're a person, tell me if I'm wrong. If you're someone who is checking out a school, like you don't even know what a Relson Gracie or Helson Gracie affiliate it is, right? Like, so
Right.
does that even matter? Like people are like, oh, I have this belts and this like qualification. Most people have no idea what the frick it is anyway, unless you're
Yeah, if you don't
already.
know, if it's not common knowledge to people, get it out of there.
Okay, got it. So
Yeah.
like trophies and awards that like make sense to no one
Yeah,
besides
unless
you.
you won something in the area that makes sense, or unless it does make you more credible as a martial arts school, get it out of there. And do you see how this person has their points broken up just by periods and it's just in a row, in a row, in a row?
Uh-huh.
So if you put 1 to 2 of those points together and space them out line by line by line, it'll look way more clean.
Okay. All right, cool. Should we click on this link or not important for right now?
No, not important for right now.
Okay. What else do you want to
All
see?
right, highlights. Let's go to
Am I
highlights.
clicking on them? All right, let's see.
Warrior Women, 89 weeks ago. Promotions, 204 weeks ago. Like I said, rule of thumb for me, don't post anything unless it's under a year old.
Okay. Just
And
maybe update these.
I do like the content in the highlights. Like I think that they're smart. I like the categories of the bubbles. However, what I don't like is how old the content is and also the cover photos.
Okay. So cover photo should be icons with this probably this color, right?
Correct. Right.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the social media itself. Tell me
All
what you want to click on.
right. Well, one thing that we didn't talk about that is maybe a key to everything that I do, and I push this in my clients' minds more than they probably like, is cover photos matter the most. Just like cover photos for highlights matter, the cover photos on videos matter the most. So if you don't know, if you were to make a video, you can add a photo from the camera roll to live on your profile. So if I did a video, let's say on a record shop, and I took a photo of one of the records with the record shop in the background, I can make that the cover photo. So it's relevant to what we're talking about in the video, but it's a still photo because things are going to be a little awkward if you take a screen grab from a video, which is usually what a lot of people do because they
Yep.
don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah, I do it because it's so much extra work. Now I have to make a video and then I have to make a photo. Oh my God.
Every time I take a video for my clients, I take a photo alongside with it because it allows you to manipulate the beauty of your feed. It makes it aesthetically pleasing and look more professional. So like this first video, I don't know what's happening. This first pin video, these guys go like, yeah, right? Yeah, cool, right? But it's a screen grab from the video. There should be a cover photo on this video.
Is it bad that this is like a square here as opposed to a vertical video?
It's, I prefer it to be vertical. However, this is not bad. And I like that they have closed captioning too, because a lot of people don't listen to videos with sound anymore because they're too
Okay.
lazy
So
or
it's
they're
definitely
busy
a
or they're in
caption.
a public place.
Right. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
definitely two captions on there.
I love a closed caption for a video like this. And I actually like that the closed captions are not a part of like not overlaying the content of the video because it happened to be shot horizontal. Right.
Got it.
But normally videos should be shot on your phone because people like to view things on the things that they're viewing on, right? So if you're viewing something on your phone and the format of Instagram is vertical, you should shoot it on your phone because your phone knows how to shoot videos in the same format that it will live on Instagram. It makes it look a little dated.
Okay. That makes sense. So you don't necessarily need a fancy camera. Just do it on your phone.
Nope. Okay, let's click on the second pin post.
Okay.
Great. Okay, adorable. Love it. Intro of guy, obsessed. He's great. He's engaging. I love the video, except that it's shot horizontally. The one thing that I would change here is the cover photo. When you're doing a video like this, grab a photo of him like this with the logo and make that the cover photo.
Hmm. And do you think
Yep.
he should have captions on this too?
Um, it depends on the video. Like I said, I do like a closed caption here and there. I don't think it's necessary, but it's always a good addition because people, like I said, listen to videos on mute a lot of the time.
Hmm. Okay. Let's look at one video here and then move on to the next one since we have
Let's
some
do
good
it.
takeaways.
Let's look
Tell
at
me
this
what
one
you
in
want.
the middle. Let's look
This
at
one?
this one in the middle where the text is cut off on the screen.
This one right here?
Yes,
Can you see my cursor when I move
I
it or
can see
no?
your cursor. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. I guess
The
this is
video itself is
educate.
educational,
Yeah, okay.
right? I love the idea of the video. And I like that it's teaching me something as a
Yeah.
consumer. I don't love the emojis. I think that the cover photo should be your logo, the color background should be one of the colors of your logo, and then what the video is going to be about. 5 escapes, right? And it says that in the large font so that people know what they're about to click on.
Okay. Should like videos, especially with self-defense, sometimes it's hard to hear people because they're further away. Should they have a mic, like a lavalier mic?
I would say you could even do a voiceover. So what you can do is record the video, take your phone, press record, and talk into it, or use a lavalier mic and talk about what this video is about. And you
Okay.
can put it, you can put it over the video so that the video is muted, and then you can hear you speaking about it. That could also be a good way because I don't even know how people are talking in this. Very legit.
Especially when there's another human being crushing their chest.
But overall, I can see the branding in this. I would say add cover photos, space out that bio, and add the cover photos to the highlights, and it's pretty great. I like the content.
All right, cool. Let's go to the next
Oh, and
one.
follow more people,
Follow more people. Follow Iconic Creative, obviously. All
obviously.
right. So let me see. Let's close this one. Let's go to the next one. This is going to be ATA Excellence, which is a martial arts school by the
Right.
ATA, which is the American Taekwondo Association. This is also one of my clients,
Love it. I have another
Zach,
client.
and you can see his profile photo here is good.
I love it. Again, great job. Like the logo is your logo. Looks awesome. Followers to following ratio, it's fine because it's under 1,000, like I said, half-life, but honestly, not bad. It looks like you're engaged with the community. I love it. Let's look at the bio really fast. I think that the bio just needs to have a little bit more. Take out that it's a martial arts school. It very clearly represents that it's a martial arts school. Like I said, press edit profile and toggle that off when it says display on profile. But I think this is great. Just add a few more sentences for your bio. You're doing great. ATA Tigers, love the highlight. Add the cover photo. You're good. Golden.
And you can make all that stuff on Canva pretty easily, right?
Easy. Easy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't, the thing with social media is it doesn't take a brain scientist, doesn't take a neurologist to, this isn't brain surgery here. It's very easy tactics. Canva is my go-to with everything. If you look up elements, they'll give you elements to put on here. It's great. It's easy. And
Element
they'll
is the
give you the
word for sure.
formats. Yeah, there's an element section. So you can look up like photo frames or icons or whatever. And they have, even if you look up on the templates, look up highlights for Instagram, they'll give you the bubbles. So you can
That's
just put your stuff in there.
easy. Okay, great. I don't know why
It's
I didn't
not
do that.
hard.
Okay, let's scroll down here. What about the
I'm
content?
seeing nothing that has to relate to the school. I see a did you know, but I think it's a photo and I think it's cut off in the middle. This looks like it's a screenshot of a caption of some sort, which is really cool. I love it, but maybe like let's see.
This is it's like
It's a
a review.
review.
Yeah.
It's a review. And I think reviews should honestly live as a cover. I mean a highlight. I think a
Got it.
highlight for reviews is really good. I don't think reviews belong on your grid feed profile. I think it belongs on the highlights.
Hmm.
So here, what I would do is I would add more videos like the page before about the day-to-day tips and tricks, people involved. I'm seeing a lot of graphics here. I'm not seeing anything that has to do with the actual school. Here we go. Here's a cute little pic. It's a carousel. Carousel is when you can swipe. Yep. Cute, 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 adorable. Caught my attention. More things like that.
Yeah, I guess you can see some of this other stuff has like no likes and comments that are
Yeah.
just like
And
generic pictures, but then you have pictures of kids and then you got 9.
you got 9. Right. Right. And it makes sense because it's generic things that, well, it's motivating in a way that can be represented in a much better way. Have these kids say, like, do what is right, not what is easy. Something adorable. You can put that, you can have that same reasoning and messaging and doing it in a different way.
Mm.
Execution for content is sometimes difficult, and that's what I really spend my most time doing with my clients. Okay, we have all these ideas. What are we going to do with them? And let me tell you, Matt, that would be like a 5-hour podcast if we were to get into the nitty-gritty of that. But that's what I do with my clients is,
Mm.
okay, we have these ideas. How do we execute it? But here, I would say more boots on the ground content, more education, less graphics.
Mm. Got it. Okay, great. Good
Okay.
info and easily managed. All right, so let's go to the next one. Let's do one more.
One more. Doing
Okay.
great here.
Yeah, this is good. And I think for the people that are listening, make sure you're watching this because that way you actually can see what we're looking at. So let me go last one here. Let's see what this one is. This one is Exalt Martial Arts.
All
Okay.
right.
I do not
Goals
know.
to
Do I?
following.
Looks like also an ATA martial arts school, which is a Taekwondo association. All right, tell me what you see here?
What am I seeing? A lower amount of followers, which is fine. I would say follow just a few more. Like I said, half-life ratio here looks good. You're a third. Fine. So name is great. Handle is great. I think that we could do some work on the bio. I wouldn't put hashtags in a bio. I think that you should add your address in there rather than have like where it says Tallahassee, Florida. I think you just add the address. That way you have more room to describe what you are, right? You got Taekwondo, you have ATA, and Krav Maga. So that could be one line, 2 more lines, but what you represent.
Hmm.
What are you going to teach these kids?
Are the hashtags like worthless these days?
I just saw an article that hashtags are out. I like hashtags when it has to do with location. So for me, for a lot of my clients, I like to put a few hashtags that have to do with like the area, right? So
Oh.
I live in Pennsylvania on the main line. So we would do hashtag main line, hashtag Ardmore, PA, because people look up geotags a lot and that does pop up.
Mm. Okay. All right. Cool. What else are you
Okay,
seeing?
next thing, highlights. Love the highlights. One of those highlights literally says highlights.
Okay. Is that bad? I guess.
So, yes, I would name that highlight because they should be in categories, not just random. And I'm guessing it was probably a mistake, which is totally fine. I love the new student alert. That's cute. That would be great as a highlight. That is a great highlight. New student alert should be the name. Like I said, should be your logo. Put a logo with different colors. Adorable. I love it. I love it. That's a great highlight. Great content, just needs some shaping, some fine tuning. And this is, I'm guessing, a trip or a competition. I love it. People love. That's a great highlight as well. Content. Okay, cute. Just like the first account that we did, I really like that I'm seeing action shots here. I'm seeing what's going to happen with my own 2 eyes when I walk in here. I'm going to see things like this. Just like the first one and the second one, cover photos are huge here. I think that, like it said, let's walk through our new attendance process. Like that could be cute, but you can take a photo of the kids with their thumbs up and then put that right at the bottom so it's not covering his face, right? These are all screen grabs from the account, from the video. And like I said, take a still photo. You can put some text over it. It's easy to do that in Canva. You can do it in an easier way too. And that'll be your cover photo. And it looks so much more clean and crisp on your feed, way more aesthetically pleasing than just grabbing like the first screen grab, like the kids going like
Yeah.
this. Yep.
Okay. Anything when you see stuff like this, like to me, I'm always like annoyed by this stuff because like Canva has templates that you can put this stuff in and make look 1,000 times nicer.
Yes,
Like
this is very
immediately.
like Word-esque. Also, don't put a QR code on social media. Put a QR code on a flyer because people need to use their phone to scan a QR code.
Yeah, it's not it doesn't work
It
like that.
doesn't do anything. It literally does nothing. And yes,
Um,
Canva, utilize Canva templates, put your own font in there and put your own colors in there, but use it.
hmm.
Here's another QR code. Drives me nuts.
It's probably just from a flyer that they would
It
print it out
is,
and then take
right?
it on
But
you.
take out the QR code when you're posting it on social media.
Right. Okay, cool. Anything else about this
Yeah.
school?
No, I think it's good. I think I like the content that they're doing. I like that it has I like you could take the last month of content and break it into categories here. I could see.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for breaking that down and being honest and
Yes.
open to help those schools.
Yeah.
And we're gonna wrap this up. And so, if you need to, guys, I would recommend if you haven't yet, haven't taken notes, like go back and re-listen and take the bullet points of like your biggest takeaways. Don't try to do everything at once. Just pick like a couple little things that you can
Yes.
manage right now, so that way this doesn't just
It's a
uh, drift
process.
off.
It's a process. This isn't something you need to do overnight. I sometimes work with my consulting clients on branding, which is the followers following, the highlights, the bio for like 3 sessions.
Hmm.
Take this little bit by little bit. It's like having a new house and putting a couch in there and then a rug and then a coffee table. Doesn't need to be done all at once.
I love that analogy. And if you're interested in getting help for your martial arts school, reach out to me directly. I can connect you. You can find me on Instagram at blackbeltbrenner1 or email me matthew@wdojo.com so I can help you with your martial arts school. If you're a client of mine already, if you're in Black Belt Business Academy or Black Belt Business Elite, stay up to date. I'm going to send some emails out about this. That'll make it easier for you guys to get started quickly. So thank you guys for listening. My name is Matthew Brenner. This is Lizzy Friedman with Iconic. Thank you guys for being here. Bye.